Bros, it's the NRW where nerds rule the world, back for another KayFabeyBaby NRW Ring Generals Podcast. I am Kuya P, and I'm joined as always by my NRW Trios champions. First up, the man with the bow tie, as always.
Hey,
Webster Style, how are you, sir?
I'm good. How about you, brother?
I'm good, man. Good to see you. And of course, highlighting the 8-bit review, my man Sean Mongold. How are you, sir? Is he playing tricks on us again? He's playing tricks on us.
He's muted. You're muted, Sean. We can't hear you.
Muted? Uh-oh.
Can you hear me
There
now?
he is.
Yes,
Oh
we can
my
hear you.
goodness. What?
It
I don't
wasn't
know
a
how
joke
that
this
happened.
time. I thought you were playing jokes on us again, man. How are you, sir?
I'm doing good, man. I'm super sweaty from the gym, and ready to talk some wrestling. We have some crazy shit happening, man. Oh my God.
we do.
Crazy stuff happening, man.
Oh.
We didn't get together last week. We've been so busy, but it's great as always to see you guys. We have a lot of stuff going on, as you said, Sean, and we have an AEW, as you see from the background. You know how I like to highlight it when it's a time for pick time. We're gonna get into those picks, but first let's talk about what's going on. Webster, I'm gonna throw to you, man. You were talking a little bit as of this recording. We have the man who I'm afraid to name it because pop up, Joe Hendry.
I
don't know if I'm gonna put it still, if I'm gonna edit and throw his picture up real quick. I said his name, but his name was spoken. What's going on with him? And then we'll throw to Sean. We'll just talk about some of the latest before we get to our picks and all in.
On the most recent episode of NXT, it was a three-way number one contender match between Wesley, Joe Hendry, and Pete Dunne. And Joe Hendry won, so he's going to face all ego Ethan Page at No Mercy.
Wow.
Outside of the fact that we had the whole jump out of the crowd from Zachary Wentz attacking Wesley, which we knew was going to happen because they're going to be set up for a match there. But it's amazing what's going on, man. The excitement, I'll talk about the unpredictability of Impact, and to have that really extend, well, I should say TNA, you really don't know what's going to happen with this crossover. It's really nothing. It's exciting. They talk about this, a lot of this is getting a lot of young kids rep and everything, especially, and then they're working with veterans as well. But a lot of people take this back to the territory system and how you always had this cross promotions of people getting reps and these storylines, and you never knew what was going to happen. And you're really getting a sense of this unpredictability in NXT, and you always kind of had that in TNA as well. And to have this crossover is just like, you don't know who's going to show up, don't know what's going to happen, and more importantly, and this goes more so toward the whole Wes Lee thing, the storytelling has been really spot on, because I don't think you could have turned Wesley heel credibly without him turning on the Rascals.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been great television to watch.
I feel that. I gotta catch up, man. I feel so far back. As you know, Webster, we've been chatting because we were gonna try and put something together last week, but I'm still playing catch up. So
Right.
That's cool to hear, man. I have been watching a lot of the WWE Bio Legend stuff, and like I rewatched the Jake the Snake. Just his story is so tragic, man. But I'm so happy he turned his life around.
Yeah.
And
what's his name? Aurelian? That's his name?
Yeah,
That's
Aurelian. He's
Aurelian.
Like French.
That's so interesting.
Yeah, man. And his sister Rockin' Robin, and the other cat that was a wrestler. Like, wrestling's in the blood, even though his father was a evil dude wrestler, bad father. But yeah, man, just catching up on that. But there's other news. While I'm getting into the history of stuff, I know you both have been keeping up with some of the newer stuff. What's some other going-ons, Sean, that we want to talk before we get to our all-in picks?
Well, we can talk a little bit about the E, I guess. We got the Terror Twins obviously back. They're setting up for obviously a mixed tag at Bash in Berlin, which is really cool. I think everyone predicted that, right? Bash in Berlin, I think, is one of those pay-per-views that's an in-betweener, right?
Yeah.
They're not gonna, they're saving Finn and Damian for probably something later, Survivor Series or something like that.
Yeah, I think it's Survivor Series or Bad Blood.
Or yeah, because they're doing a lot of
That makes
hyping up for
sense.
Bad Blood, which I'm curious. And then also they have like Cody versus Kevin Owens at Bash in Berlin. So it is kind of a throwaway pay-per-view, unfortunately, in my opinion. But I am happy with some of the stories. I'm happy with obviously Terror Twins and that, getting revenge on the Tindy loving fucker Dominic, and Liv. You
I'm
have
loving that though, man. Just
I'm
their
not
stuff is.
I can't for Liv. I'm always in this bit in between of like Liv, like it takes some kind of special person to like really do this, like put themselves in this position to be like, Dom's my daddy. You know what I mean? It really, I don't know if anyone else could play that
It's like
role.
soap opera stuff, though,
It
dude.
is.
It's why we love it's the male soap opera, which is what wrestling is. It's
It
male
is.
soap opera, but
Absolutely.
it's good shit.
Absolutely. I don't know. I just Live. I don't know, man. Yeah, something doesn't click. And
You'll
I
give
can
her
never.
flowers eventually, and I
I
can't
probably
wait for
will.
that day.
I probably will. But it's good storytelling at its core. And then of course we got the American Made Wyatt Six thing. So they're officially named American Made. Ugh. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, it's rough. But so you have that going on, which is fun. You got the Randy and Gunther thing, and man, let me just tell you, those are two auraless vacuums. I cannot stand their promos. I just want them to get in the ring and beat the shit out of each other.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, I agree
Having
with
them
you.
open the show twice in a row, 2 weeks in a row. I'm like, y'all are not good at promo. Like, who decided this? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
No, it's not even that. There is something about, and I think Randy's not horrible. I think it's a lot of who he plays off of. And honestly, I think Randy works better as a heel anyway. But in this, it's just there is such a lack of energy in their promos. Not saying necessarily horrible, but there is a lack of energy. There's a lack of drama, especially compared to other promos that were cut this past Raw. And when two people in the ring, it's just there's just something missing.
Yeah. And like, and it attributes back to like they're playing the safe promos. And you can always tell when the writers give people safe promos because they are not strong at promos. So they gave Gunther Randy, you're a bum. Your father was a bum. Your grandfather was a bum. I'm like, okay, all right. Like, uh, first which that's not true. You know that. This is, a 15-time world champion. And I hate when stories go that route. You know what I mean? It's like, this man's been a pillar. Like, be a heel, but I mean, it could have been like, hey, I know you are an amazing wrestler, and so were your father and your grandfather, but I'm gonna beat your ass so bad that all of them are gonna feel it. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
it could have went that route. So like to do the overzealous heel route just shows we don't trust this guy's promo skills. So we have to give him the very bland, you're a bum, your family was a bum, everyone in your lineage is a bum, you're a bum. And that's all. That's like all Gunther said. And same
Yeah.
thing with Damian Priest. You're street trash. You're always street trash. All of these people are street trash. And it's like you're saying the same thing like 4 or 5 times. And that means that your promo skills not up to par. Um and yet again, like this is all critiques, right? Like I'm not trying to take away anything, by the way, like to sound negative. Like I love these guys in the ring. Like they're great in-ring storytellers, like, but the promo is just rough. And even for Randy, like Randy, you can always tell when Randy's kind of taking it easy. Like this time he was taking it easy. He was like, "What up, y'all?" Like, like he gets a little bit of slang in his kind of promo, but it's like now it's just corny. Like, um, so yeah, I'm interested in the match, but yet again, promos, Also, it doesn't really make a ton of sense. I guess there's a little bit of story because Gunther beat Randy for the tournament for the shot at the IC title against Sammy. So there is a little bit of story there, and that's great. But other than that, what else do we have? The New Day shit is finally going somewhere, in my opinion, with Odyssey Jones being kind of caught up and having like this kind of conflict between Kofi and Xavier Woods, with Odyssey Jones coming up and possibly replacing Big E, because there's been a bunch of news about whether or not Big E is officially retired or officially done or coming back, and a lot of people are making comments on it now that aren't Big E. So to me, that's like a big red herring of, he's never going to wrestle again, and then he's going to show up at fucking Royal Rumble, and just squash shit, right? Or maybe come back, and then that starts the story of him getting his role back against Odyssey, and that becomes like a good feud for Big E when he comes back against Odyssey Jones, and that's a good push for Odyssey Jones too, feuding with Big E.
Right.
Because like same thing, like in the same episode, Bronson Reed got another great match, and he got to go against the Miz.
I'm glad they're doing something with him, man. They're like,
yeah,
I know everything's a slow burn, but still,
about time, and that's all they had to do. Like it's same thing. Like I was talking with someone about the Final Testament, and Final Testament should be a great, like I love the look, I love like the symbol, I love the Final, I love the name. Karrion Kross is charisma is a wet blanket, wet blanket. It's like,
yeah,
also auralist,
yeah,
great to look at. Great to see in the ring, like very dominating force. AOP, very dominating force, but nothing outside of that. And then they didn't book them right? Like they had them go against these meaningless people, and most of the time get their ass beat when they're that big. And it's like they made the Judgment Day. Man. Yeah, they made the Judgment Day, who are not as oversized, look more dominating than them. So it's how they book them, right? So like that's why I'm really happy with Bronson Reed. Like he came in, he squashed Seth Rollins, he did the fucking badass move, he did the tsunamis, then he came in and did it to fucking R-Truth. Now he's doing it to the Miz. So it's like reputable people who are up there. I mean, Seth is a main card talent. Miz is higher mid card and has been a world champion multiple times, right? So like this is a way to book him as this unstoppable monster. And I think Braun Strowman came out on Monday.
Yeah, his last one.
And that will be a great feud. Like
I agree.
Two monsters. And like, what the fuck took you so long to get to this point? Right? Like this is what you should have started with. And then also to have Braun on the same thing as Wyatt Six without having him a part of it is interesting. So I'm curious if that's going to tie in somehow. But yeah, we got
that would
Wyatt
be
Six,
good later on too if they do.
Yeah, absolutely. And then I mean, other than that, I mean that was kind of it. We got, like I said, we got the drama with Kofi and Xavier, and they kind of squashed it. There's still a little bit of strife in the match, but they're still cool. There's no one's turning on anyone yet. I hope it doesn't turn to that. I really hope like Xavier doesn't turn on Kofi or some shit like that.
Yeah, I hope they don't do that. But
I
have a feeling they may though.
I have a feeling that they're playing Odyssey up to be like this very hyper person, and Xavier's going to bite his bullet and eventually kind of get to like him, kind of like Jey Uso and Sammy when Sammy was Honorary Uso.
Yeah,
right? That. I don't really fuck with this guy, but over time, okay, this is my bro. And then our old bro comes back and feels left out. Big E's back. Oh my God, what are we going to do? And then have Big O kind of turn. Have Big O turn on the group and turn on them, and like I think that's a great trajectory for him. Also New Day just makes too much money. You can't break them up. Like they make so much money in merchandise.
Yeah.
Like they literally made the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle models figures after them.
I just saw the Kofi Kingston Michelangelo figure the other day.
Yeah. And they're
look pretty dope.
They're coming out in like TNMT gear. Like, you know what I mean? Like you can't break them up. Like that would be fucking so stupid. But yeah, so that's what's going on. I mean, SmackDown Bloodline shit, nothing's really changed. Roman came out again and said nothing.
Got put through a table.
Yeah. I don't.
You're not feeling. You're starting to get lukewarm on the Bloodline stories.
Yet again, they drag it, man. I wanted him to cut a promo Like we already had him come out and say nothing and just show
Yeah.
his aura, and then he does it for a second week in a row. Then he gets kind of fucking sent to a table. I'm just like, I want to know how you
But he put
feel,
the
dog.
necklace on.
He did.
He did put the necklace on. But yeah, I understand. I feel you on that.
But that was also
I'm not
because
totally
Alpha,
off of that yet, but
yeah,
it's fine.
that was
How
also-
y'all feeling on the big three though? And going against, with our women, Jade, Naomi, and Bianca against Davenport now, who's with Alba Fire and Isla Dawn.
Boo.
How are y'all feeling on this? Are they dragging that too, you think?
They are. They're trying to give Unholy Reunion or whatever the fuck their name is, like the belts for a longer time period, so they don't seem like a transitional championship like champions, but that's what they are. They gave them the championships because of circumstances and because they were in Scotland. And
I think it's now time to give it back.
Yeah.
It's about time to give it back now.
But also I do like that they're integrating Naomi back into the mix.
Oh yeah, totally.
Because like I said before, I would really love to see this heel Bianca and Jade turn on Naomi because Naomi is still friends with Bayley.
No, don't do that. I don't want them to do that.
I want to see a heel Bianca so bad. I want to see what that looks like. Does she take
Not yet.
Does she take the braid off? Does the braid go away when Bianca turns heel? You know what I mean? Like,
no.
I want to see it. I am so, and like I said, I'm not bored of her. I'm not bored of her babyface character. I just think that she would literally kill a heel role. Like, genuinely. Just how I thought Bayley did. And people were very hesitant about it. People were lukewarm about it. And then she became an amazing heel. But I feel the same way about Bianca. And Bianca has such a history with Bayley. And Bayley's now like kind of transitioning back to the hugger Bayley with the tassels and the frills and everything like that. And she's not really a baby face, but she's a face. She's over. So it's just like, Bianca, you shouldn't be mad at her anymore. But she is. And I think that's going to come into play because Naomi is still tight with Bayley.
I don't know. I hear that. Eventually I want to see that, but not yet. Not yet.
Naomi and Bayley are kind of in the same generation. Bianca is the newer generation. So, Naomi and Bayley have that history and that comeuppance, whereas Bianca does not. Jade is also new. So I feel like that is what I've been doing. I've literally been talking about that since I think before WrestleMania. And I was just like, I can't wait for something to happen. Like, you know what I mean? Like, give Naomi a story. Instead of her just being like,
definitely want them getting more love, definitely more play.
Turn on Naomi. Have Naomi have like this rock bottom baby face comeuppance. Have her friends turn on her. Have Bianca have this shine to be a heel with Jade, because Jade is better as a heel too, in my opinion. From a short amount of time at AEW, she was a good heel. Because you don't have to say a lot as a heel. You just have to be dominant. I.e. Braun Breaker.
I want them to start running through cats and just letting them get all the titles before they do anything like that.
I mean, you can still have the title
as faces. I don't know, man.
You can still have the title and be a heel. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I know. I just, I want this current incarnation because it's so just sugary sweet. You know what I'm saying? It's just dope, man. They're the big three. They're amazing. They're who they are. You know what I'm saying? I'd love to see in this incarnation, kind of run things, but we'll see.
I see them win the belt at whatever pay-per-views after Bash of Berlin.
The blood, you think maybe the blood one? Yeah.
Bad blood. Yeah. And then, I see Bayley wanting to get the tag team title shot and asking Naomi to be her tag team partner. So then it's Bayley and Naomi versus Jade and Bianca. All of them are faces, but I think there's
got to be a turn.
Yeah.
What you're wanting.
Yeah, man.
Got to be.
Not yet.
Give it to me.
Well, let's head over to the picks in a second. Did you have anything else before we head to the picks, Webster Style?
No, I'm ready. Let's get to some AEW.
All right, let's get into these picks. Gentlemen, you ready to kick it off, Sean?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's kick it off with the first match of the night. I think this is going to be the preliminary before the actual event starts. And it's Chris Statlander with Stokely Hathaway versus Willow Nightingale with Tomohiro Ishii. The winning team will choose the stipulation of the match between Nightingale and Statlander at All Out. What do you think? It's a mixed tag team match. Oh, that's what it is as well. Oh, so
Yeah.
Chris and Stokely ain't in the corner. He's actually
Yeah.
wrestling.
Yeah.
So Chris is Stokely against Nightingale and Tomohiro Ishii. What do you think, man? Let me kick it off with you, Webster style. Who do you got?
This is a weird match,
Yep.
and I'll be very surprised if Stokely actually wrestles and they don't
Yeah, I didn't know Stokely
somehow
was.
replace him. I don't know. This is hard to call because I feel like there's going to be some sort of MacGuffin with that Stokely and Statlander pairing. So I feel like I'm going with Stokely and Statlander because I feel like something unforeseen is going to happen, whether somebody else is going to come out that we're not expecting and
Yeah.
whatnot. That's what I think.
Yeah, you think he's gonna pick someone else to represent him? I mean, he's a
Yeah.
manager, right? Like he manages people, so he's gonna find someone, pull a heel, like that's not really doing anything, and wrestle Ishii, right?
So who you got, Sean? Who do you have in this one?
I mean, I feel like I agree with Eldon. You know, I also don't understand this. This is weird. They've been drawing out Chris and Willow for the longest time. I thought it's been over. They keep continuing it. I don't know why. It's such a I don't know. They haven't done a good job at dragging it out. Uh, and now I'm just like, what? Like I don't know what the score is between them two. Like I don't know what the count is. I don't know if one has more wins than the other. I have no idea. But yeah, I see Stokely pulling some slick shit, having someone else and beating them. And also like I feel like the heel giving the stipulation always makes sense for the face to overcome it, right? And then truly beat Chris's ass with her own stipulation, whatever that may be.
All right. I feel that. Yeah, I'm with you guys on that one. Let me throw it back at you, Sean, with the first match of the actual events of the night, because I think that's going to be a preliminary match. We have for the Women's World Championship, Timeless Tony Storm, the current champion, versus the Glamour Mariah May, her former associate.
This is going to be a fun match.
Yeah.
I think they built this up. I'm really mad that they kind of wrote Mina out.
Yeah, same.
And I think that really could have helped the story here. And added a little bit more depth to it.
Well, she just popped up with last week.
Who? Mina?
Mina, yeah. They were asking, it was backstage, they asked her how she felt, and she still loved them both. I think it was
I
last
didn't
week.
know.
Yeah.
I did not see that.
Well, I don't know if it was on the socials. So I don't know if it was on the full show because I didn't see the full show, but yeah.
Okay. I mean, like hopefully they have something and have her kind of interacting with it a little bit, like maybe helping Tony out, seeing that like Mariah's gone crazy or some shit like that. But the same, like I don't know, because Mariah's what? Is she from UK?
I think so.
Yeah, I think so.
Tony is Australian. I mean, it makes sense for Mariah to win because they're in the UK. They're in London,
London.
London, But and like I like the story. I like the progression of the story. I like the even when she was aligned with Tony and like obsessed with Tony, she was like doing some of her gimmicks. And then I really liked a couple weeks ago when she was a heel. She came out to Tony's music looking like Tony. I thought that motherfucker was Tony. It took me a minute to be like, wait, that's not Tony. That's Mariah
double
May.
take.
I was just like, they look the same. That doesn't help the case of the white woman. But yeah, it's been interesting. So I hope this is the culmination. I hope this kind of puts it to bed for a little bit and not drag it out, like maybe revisit it later on. And yeah, I don't know. I feel like Tony's had a good run. I feel like give it to Mariah May, even though I do feel like Mariah May is young in AEW, young in her career, young in AEW's tenure, and I feel like maybe someone else should deserve it. But I think for the storyline purposes and where they're at, I think Mariah May makes the most sense.
Wow, and becomes our new champion. Yeah, interesting. How about you, Eldon? Who you got?
Um, Me and Sean on the same page, but maybe for different reasons. I was looking at it, and I'm looking at the vignettes, and it's very much a old Hollywood versus new Hollywood sort of vibe,
Mm,
especially with Tony, especially her recent promos. She's channeling a lot of Sunset Boulevard, Marlena Dietrich, and I'm loving it. And that's exactly what I thought. Old Hollywood versus new Hollywood. And I'm like, Mariah, I didn't even think about where she was from, but I'm thinking Mariah should win it. And also not just because and I feel like she's kind of young. I agree with Sean totally, but it's a sort of homegrown AEW person. Not saying Tony wasn't, but I didn't know Mariah May before all this.
Yeah.
And it's
yeah,
just they told a really good story, and it would be a really good ending to the story. And again, especially I'm looking at it old Hollywood versus new Hollywood. You know, Marlena she didn't die in the Sunset Boulevard, but there was death and everything involved, and her coming to grips with that. And they also had the Joan Crawford, whatever, Happy Baby Jane sort of homages and like so classic old school Hollywood there. But in all those characters, there was an ultimate death of that system, death of that sort of character. And I want that to happen because I'm really interested to see how Tony reinvents herself yet again.
I'm with
All
that. Yeah, I think
everything
it's
you
across
just
the board with Mariah May on this. I just like how the stories progress, and I hope they keep. Yeah, they're doing something right here and building up. That's some of the few things that they're doing right now at
everything
AEW.
that you
Go ahead,
just
Sean.
said, Eldon, is like was gibberish to me.
I know,
What?
I was like, wait, what? I don't know what any of this means.
I
Like
know.
like I said, the showgirl thing, like I don't get it, you know? So it's just
We're
like,
showing our age, Eldon.
No, I love old Hollywood movies, man. That's just me. That was one of the best things about Netflix back in the day when you rented DVDs.
oh
All those
Lord,
classic Hollywood films,
my
I was
God.
actually able to rent and watch to see what they were all about.
Where they would mail the motherfuckers to you. Oh my
Yes,
God. Remember Redbox?
Oh my
yes.
goodness.
Well, look, Sean, Casablanca is like one of my favorite movies of all time.
Casablanca.
So,
I know that quote from Rick and Morty. Casablanca. Like I did not watch the movie.
Oh man, it's geezer KayFabeyBaby this week, Eldon. Sean is making us show our age. So
Woo.
let's move over before we start getting our diapers on or something, man.
Get your
I mean,
for
depends.
actually,
yourself.
it's Webster style. Because I started the last one with Sean. So Webster style. We have the AEW American Championship. Our current champion MJF versus Will Ospreay. Who you got?
I'm going with Osprey only because he's where
Already
he is.
again?
But you know what though? I said that and I was thinking the exact same thing, but I'll say this just like I talk about the E and how back in the day when we had titles change frequently, it gave an air of unpredictability because you know what was going to happen. The American title and whatever it was before was held by Orange Cassidy for so long, and then Osprey won it, right? Is that the correct lineage?
I
I don't
think
mind it going back and forth. One, you can get a pretty good feud out of this with MJF. But two, it gives that unpredictability.
I'm with
Like
that.
so you never know what's going to happen next with this title. And that's one of the things where I talked about before when Orange had it, I felt like it did a disservice to the title and establishing the title by having him have it for so long. At least that was my opinion.
Mm,
Yeah, they were high up on Orange Cassidy for a long fucking time.
yeah.
Probably to its detriment. Like
Yeah.
there 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 is there is a nuance and a positive spin on things for people to go away for a while and let us miss you.
Yeah.
And they have not done that with Orange Cassidy. Usually they do it because of injury, which, I don't wish injury on anybody, but also you can do that as a choice too, like a
Yeah.
creative choice. Like, hey, go take a break, go on the indies if you want. We're gonna give you some like a TV break. Give some time for the fans to miss you, so that when you do get back, it's gonna be a fucking crazy pop, right? And I feel like they never did that with Orange. But yeah, I feel you in that way, and I like everything that MJF is doing. Like he's doing the heel, like he's acting like Hulk Hogan, right? Like he's doing like the heel American, shit. And I find it really funny. And it's it's so patriotic, it's so over the top, and it just makes me laugh.
Yeah, I agree.
Same with American Made, right? Like or like We the People back in the day. Like it's like so patriotism to a default, obviously, because what is it, but but it's just it's funny because it's like you're over the top, you're a heel, whereas some people normally would chant USA, and now they're cheering for the Brit, and it's so
Yeah.
fucking delicious. It's so funny to me. And
Yeah,
then
yeah.
to go to another country like this with the former international belt that is now the American belt versus one of the hometown heroes, like that is so much heat. And honestly, what you guys are saying, like the reverse, does Will need it? I don't think Will needs the title. I think Will has a bunch of story built in with the Callis family still. And then possibly a shot at whoever wins the world title later. Like let MJF get the win, be a heel, get all this heat in the middle of the UK at All In front of 80,000 people, and let him heel it up and continue to be a heel. Like that's what MJF is good at, being a heel and doing dastardly things. And I find it odd that they would give a belt to MJF and only let him have it for like a month or two.
Got a point.
All right. I guess I'll break the tie on this one. I say let the hometown person win it. And let me see where that goes. Although that's I see your point too, Sean. But how they love to give it to a hometown squad because they can still run it back and they can still do more shit down the road, I think. But so I'm gonna break the tie there. Staying with you, Sean, I think, right? We have next the AEW TNT Championship with our current champion, Jack Perry. I was trying to remember his nickname now. Is it the GOAT? Scapegoat versus
Bitch-goat.
Darby Allin. Who you got?
I'm tired.
Right?
Kuya.
Aren't we tired of the scapegoat?
I'm tired of it all.
And Darby Allin always and everything.
I'm tired.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like bored of both of them.
Yeah, I was looking down this whole card and I was like, I can't believe this is all in. Like it's some of the same matches as last year. It's some of the same matches that we've already seen multiple times. There's not that many firsts outside of Swerve and Danielson. And it's just boring. I don't care about this match. I hate Jack Perry I don't understand how he became a champion. That was stupid. That was literally, I think, like a fuck you to Punk, I think.
One last fuck you.
Yeah. And then even in their war games, when they're trying to make him look hard, when they're like throwing gasoline on him being like, do it. Like, no, you wouldn't do that. Shut the fuck up. And then have the Young Bucks kind of be like, we quit on his behalf, blah, 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 blah. Like, it made zero sense. And it did not help. You know what I mean? Like, that's not, no. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, I just want Jack Perry to lose. So I hope Darby wins. But then I hope Darby gets his ass beat by someone else really quick.
Yeah. All right. Webster Style, who you got, man? Let's not give any more time, I guess, to this one.
Man, look, you talked about somebody going away for a while. Darby needed to go away for a while and stay away. He came back too quick.
Yeah.
Personally speaking.
Yeah.
I'm all right with Perry is being champion, and yeah, so it's just the wrong feud. So I'll go with Perry. This don't need to happen.
All right. Yeah. This one's a weird one, man. Although I gotta say, I prefer Scapegoat Jack Perry over Jungle Boy Jack Perry, to be honest. I know that's kind of hard to say, but yeah. Webster Style, it's with you now. AEW TBS Championship. Current champion, Mercedes Moné. I'm still disappointed in her, but with Camille versus DMD. Probably the only match I'm really excited about, to be honest, of this whole card.
I'm hoping for a good match, but I'm going with Mercedes.
She's gonna retain.
Yeah, especially I mean she got Camille, she got the brick house in her corner. As as horrible as she is on her promo skills, personally, even at NWA, I never liked her promos because I just thought she was just not good.
Yeah.
Personally speaking, was why I was kind of disappointed she didn't take the NXT deal so she can get some better skills there. But I mean, she's an imposing force in the ring, and she's played that enforcer role for years now. So yeah, that's the wild card right there. So I'm giving it with Mercedes.
All right, Sean, who you got in the CEO versus DMD?
Let me just say, our friend got us tickets to Capital Collision, and Mercedes is going to have a match there, and I'm super excited because we did not see Mercedes at AEW DC when we all went. So I'm very happy that I'm going to be seeing Mercedes live finally. So I'm super happy about that. Obviously, CEO. There's no other choice, right? Like, also, I think Britt's kind of in high water right now with some backstage stuff, or hot water. So I don't think they're going to be giving DMD anything. But yeah, Mercedes is going to be great. Camille, like, I love it. Camille is also going to be learning under Mercedes, I think. So I think that's a good opportunity to learn under Mercedes. She's definitely gotten a lot better since turning heel. I think she just thrives in that heel role for the promo game, right? But yeah, it's going to be a great match. Like, I mean, I've talked about this match for a long, long time. Like, even way before Mercedes was even here. Like, I thought
You have.
like, I thought this was like the culmination, right? Like, this is going to be great. I wish there was a little bit more build up until this big match, but it's okay. But I hope that something else comes of this and that doesn't get dragged out even more, right? I want to see another feud. I want to see Mercedes go on, do another feud. Maybe Britt hit rock bottom and have to build her way back up. Maybe, go back and apologize to some people that she screwed over. Maybe Jamie Ater comes back. We're in the UK, bruv. Jamie Ater may come back and screw over Britt, because you screwed me over, Britt. How dare you? You never thought I could be champion before, and I was, and you were jealous. Maybe we might get something like that. And I would love it because Jamie Hayter was amazing. And I definitely want to see some Jamie Hayter and Mercedes shit go down. So I think that's probably going to happen, just to keep Britt's, babyface mentality, have Jamie Hayter come in and do something. Obviously Camille will throw some kind of curveball at Britt, but yeah, Mercedes wins.
Yeah, I think we've discussed this. We've been looking forward to this finally happening once, the CEO made her way, but it just feels it's crazy that's happening now. And as you said too, we've been listening to the dirt sheets. There's something going on with DMD and MJF and all that kind of shit right now on some shit. So yeah, I think this will get prolonged a little bit. But are you sure this Capital Collision match is happening? Because now you when you said that, Sean, you got me looking for tickets now, man.
Yeah,
she's gonna be competing at Capital Collision.
It would make sense since it's AEW and NJP, and she does have the NJ New Japan Strong Women's Championship. Is that right?
Yeah.
No. Does she have that? Yeah, she is, because she be Stephanie Valkyrie for it. Yeah. So that makes sense.
Then Eldon, I think you and I need to buy some tickets, and Sean already has his set up. We need to go to that one.
I don't know. I might NWA is the same weekend, so I may be trying to hit that up.
Yeah, Mercedes versus Momo Watanabe. And then also Mustafa Ali is fighting Hiromu Takahashi.
All right. So we'll talk offline. We'll talk offline because I might need to go to that now, Sean. If this is happening, my girl's gonna be there. I might have to be there too. So let me know. We'll work that out. We'll work it out. And Eldon, whether you go or not, I'm just saying. I'm trying to see my girl. Okay, let's keep it moving. We have to you, Sean, the Casino Gauntlet. But who's in this match? I don't know who's in this match. Do we know? There's nothing that says here on the card here. So should we just skip this one, or do you have a pick for the Casino Gauntlet?
I feel like they're probably going to announce that tonight on Dynamite on like who this is going to be. And I feel like this is probably how they get into the picture. Fucking Danny Garcia. There it is.
Yeah, because the winner gets a future AEW World Championship match.
Yeah, I had to do the dance in my head to remember who it was. But because I believe MJF promised a match with Danny Garcia at All In, and for the longest time I thought it was going to be like a triple threat for the American title between MJF, Will Ospreay, and Danny Garcia. So I definitely think he's going to be involved with that, and I think they should push him. So if he's in it, I think Danny Garcia should win it.
Okay. How about you, Webster? You got to pick to see who will get that future AEW World Championship match.
I don't have a pick, but I think this is where Ricochet is going to show up. He's going to be that mystery wild card person.
There it is.
That's an interesting pull there.
Because they always got that one mystery person that they hold out there.
Yeah.
So
nice. Yeah, okay, I'm intrigued. That might have me cash in a little bit more. All right, let's head over to you, Webster Style. We have the last chance match for the FTW Championship. And if Hook loses, he can never challenge for the FTW Championship for as long as Jericho is champion. We have current champion Chris Jericho with Big Bill and Brian Keith versus Hook. Who you got?
I'm glad you got this one.
I'm sitting there like, who cares? I go with Hook, and that's all I gotta say. I'm saying all I gotta say about that match.
All right, Sean, who you got, man?
Bro, I am so tired. I've said that like twice, I think, throughout this entire. But I am tired. I'm tired of Chris Jericho. He did the wizard shit with the fireball again when he's a learning tree. I'm just like, make up your fucking mind which gimmick you're doing, dog. You know what I mean? Like, I'm over it. I'm tired. The only saving grace about the learning tree gimmick is Brian Keith, in my opinion. He is so fucking funny. He literally looks like Ice Cube in All About the Benjamins, and it fucking has me dying laughing every time I see him. He always has like the angry face that Ice Cube does. It's hilarious. And I love the stark comparison that he's in this group and he's nothing like Chris Jericho, and he's not trying to kiss ass like Big Bill, but he's just like, you respect Chris Jericho. I was just like, man, that is the saving grace of the learning tree is Brian Keith, in my opinion. So I hope this does something for him and leads him to something better. But yeah, Hook all day.
Hook all day on this one. All right, Sean, it's on you now. This one, speaking about being bored of a match, I'm sure you're probably bored of this one too. It's a three-way tag team match for the AEW World Tag Team Championship. Young Bucks versus FTR, and Young Bucks are the current champions.
Versus the Acclaimed too.
Yeah, I'm like,
oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Versus FTR and the Acclaimed.
Yeah,
we've all seen this before.
Boo! That's all I'm gonna say. Boo! I'm going to be booing at my screen the entire time. I'm bored.
I'm care. Bored. Oh my God.
Boo.
This is
so tired.
I like the Acclaimed. Don't get me wrong. But how many times are we going to see the Young Bucks and FTR in any match involving anybody, whether it's them or any other people, for the tag titles? Like, come on.
Yeah. What pisses me off is they have not booked Private Party right. And Private Party, like they had started off strong with Private Party beating the Young Bucks like in the first year of AEW. I think it might have been like the first fucking AEW Dynamite. Private Party beat the Young Bucks. And they were set to like catapult them in the right direction. But then not Isaiah, but the other one, Marquand, got hurt for a long time. And it kind of stifled. But it's just like, all right, well, get back to it. Like I understand like Young Bucks are heels, blah, 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 but like let it, you know what I mean? Like the Acclaimed have been champions before. They've been trios champions. They've been tag team champions. They've already given this stuff. Like that is also another, unfortunately, Acclaimed is one of those groups, just like Orange Cassidy, that they should have written off TV for a while. Let us miss you. But the thing is that their tag team fucking shit is so in disarray. And then, of course, with Penta and Ray Phoenix possibly heading to the E, they don't have anyone else. They do, but for some reason they don't want to push them, and I don't understand. You know, you have Top Flight right there, you have Private Party. You know, I don't know, man. It's very interesting. Yeah, I'm sick of seeing FTR and Young Bucks. It was a commodity. It was a rarity. It was nice to see, and then they just spammed it, man. And now it's just boring. I don't care about FTR anymore. Like you kind of drove them into the dirt for me. Same with the Acclaimed. Like I'm bored of it, and I don't know. It's the same shit over and over, and this is boring. This is nothing new, and this is all in. This is like your WrestleMania, and there's nothing new.
And who you got again?
Oh,
who you picking?
Oh man, I'd have picked someone. Fuck. I don't know. I feel like we've had a lot of heel winners from some of the outlines between Mercedes and fucking MJF and Chris Statlander. So I feel like a face should win. I feel like I don't know. Acclaimed wins. There it is. I'm just gonna say
there it is. There it is. Acclaimed. Webster Style, who you got, man? Who you picking in this one?
I'm just going with the Acclaimed and calling it a day because I don't want either one of the other two to win. So,
all right, I can understand that. All right, Webster Style, you got the AEW World Trios Championship, the Patriarchy, the current champions, Christian Cage, Killswitch, Nick Wayne with Mother Wayne versus the Bang Bang Gang, Juice Robinson, Austin Gunn, and Colton Gunn versus also the House of Black, Malachi Black, Brody King, and Buddy Matthews versus the wild card winners who are not announced yet. So I don't know who's on the wild card yet because as of this recording, we don't have that. Who do you got?
House of Black.
House of Black. They deserve it, man. They've been putting in that work, man. I feel. I think Sean has the same pick, I would assume, too, because I think we all feel the House of Black deserves more love. Who do you got, Sean?
Boy! Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I don't know who the mystery contestant trio is going to be. I have no idea who it could be. But yeah, I definitely want to see House of Black get these fucking titles back. You know, like the Patriarchy and the Bang Bang Gang had like a good back and forth.
Yeah.
And it was entertaining. But yeah, I really want to see the House of Black get some of their dominance back because I feel like they've been shitted on for the past year. And just kind of been like shoved off to the corner. Like ever since kind of what you call it, old girl, who's the blonde bitch? I forget her name.
Hart.
Julia Hart.
Julia Hart.
Julia Hart. Ever since she kind of no longer was champion, it's like they kind of like just didn't care
Faded.
about House of Black anymore. You know, it's kind of weird.
Yeah.
And it kind of sucks. You know, like Malachi is a great talent. Brody is a great talent. All of them are. You know, Buddy Matthews. So, you know, give them their shine. Let them get this championship back. Let them get a tear going again, and bring some kind of prestige back to that trios championship.
All right.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I don't think anybody else brings back prestige other than the House of Black. Honestly, Bang Bang Gang. I mean, they got a lot better, but they're not House of Black.
Yeah. Well, I think they're kind of they're partly comedy.
Yeah.
You know, because they're goofy and they're fun. They're entertaining to watch. You know, they're very great. But at the same time, you know, without Jay White, they kind of don't have that aura with old boy with crazy eye McGee. What the fuck's his name? Fucking Juice Robinson. With Juice Robinson, the human Pomeranian. He brings like an air of goofiness, you know, just because I mean he is entertaining and the goofiness is entertaining, but I really want to see that like malice and that, you know, that just sheer dominance in the trios championship come back. And the Patriarchy, I mean, you know, yet again, Christian Cage is great, but you know, that needs to come to an end. I'm ready for the Patriarchy to kind of implode. You know,
I agree.
They teased Kill Switch turning so many times for literally the past year, and it just hasn't happened yet. So I'm ready for that to implode and see what shakes out from that kind of fallout with the patriarchy.
All right. We have the AEW World Championship. Swerve Strickland, our current champion, with Prince Nana versus Bryan Danielson as our main events. Who we got, gentlemen? Who was I off? I think it's on you now, Sean.
Me?
Yeah, you're closing it out.
Oh no, this is a hard one.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, it's going to be an amazing fucking match.
Yeah. I think we're. Go ahead.
No, you're fine. Yeah, I. It's hard to say. I can see it going either way, right? Like, to really legitimize Swerve's title run, having him beat Daniel Bryanson or Bryan Danielson, whatever. What the fuck's his name? Daniel Bryanson, right? No, Bryan Danielson. Jesus Christ,
it's the Dragon. It's the Dragon.
The American Dragon. For him to beat the American Dragon at their WrestleMania in front of 80,000 people, I think truly cements Swerve as just an all-time great and just like a very sustainable champion, right? Because there's always that talk of him being a transitional champion. I think that's also why obviously he beat Will Ospreay, because they wanted to prove, like, give him the assurance, like, hey, we do believe in you as champion. And I think he has like that very unique split of being like that very chaotic babyface.
Yeah.
Very, very menacing, very Steve Austin without trying to be Steve Austin, that kind of anti-hero. And I think it just works for him. And then also, obviously, the American Dragon, Jesus Christ, I can never remember his name. The American Dragon retiring soon, though, makes me feel like maybe they should give him the belt before he retires, and then maybe put it up for a tournament. Like, maybe this will be his last match, and he gets the belt and he retires on Dynamite, the following week, and be like, oh, I'm gonna, I just wanted to know that I could win this and be champion. Like, this is officially my retirement from like active wrestling, full-time wrestling. And then have like a big tournament. AEW loves their fucking tournaments, right? Like, have the big tournament to see who wins the belt. I can see that happening. But yeah, what I want Swerve to win. All
right. Webster style, who you got, man?
Pretty much everything Sean said. I'm going with Swerve simply because I think this is literally probably the biggest way they can send the message that this is our champion. This is who we have trust in, by having him be arguably one of the
legends.
Yeah. I'd say best wrestlers of our generation, of our current generation. So yeah.
I'm with it. I think all the way around this cements Swerve even more. And although I would like to say, it would be cool to let Bryan Danielson have a cool kind of goodbye, departing belt real quick. Yeah. But, I think also knowing, I'm sure, as we all know, as wrestling fans and of wrestlers, they also kind of like want to give that nod, that shine before they leave out as well. So, and I think Bryan Danielson is that kind of a guy that would want to throw shine on to Swerve on the way out. So, yeah, man. So there you go. Those are our picks. AEW All In 2024. Any random stuff, real quick before we get up out of here? Anything surprises we think may happen? Webster Style said Ricochet. Do you have a surprise, Sean? Or Webster Style, do you have anything else?
Jamie Hater, bruv.
It's Jamie Hater. I like that
Jamie
too.
Hater.
Yeah.
A hater come back real quick.
Yeah. Yep. Have her, bro. She literally could do so much with that last name. Like, just like having like the hater group, like just being a bunch of haters.
Oh, that's a beautiful name for a stable.
Like, come on, man. Like, I'm a motherfucking writer. Give me a goddamn pen and paper. I want to write for this shit. I think Jamie Hater comes back. I mean, you have to do a couple, like, this is your WrestleMania. You have to have a couple of like crazy comebacks. And I can't really think of anyone else that's like been injured, that's been missing for a while.
Well, Soraya's been trying to say, hey, let me have my comeback. And remember, she was at All In last year. No on Soraya?
No, I think Tony is actually fighting her tonight on Dynamite.
Yeah.
Which is I always find that weird when there's like a championship match set for a pay-per-view and then there's a championship match on the Go Home show on the weekly show. It's always what?
Yeah. So you don't think Saraya may just come in and be like, "Hey, you messed me up. I should be here representing my home country"?
No.
She
had her shine last year.
Yeah, she won.
She shouldn't have won. She shouldn't have. I'm sorry. Like that was.
I concur with you.
The unholy union winning in Scotland. But I do see Jamie Hayter coming back, and I seen that pop go crazy. I mean, they also got Will Ospreay, the hometown hero. But yeah, other than that, I don't. The Ricochet is a good call. I think that'd be cool. I don't know. I feel like having that in the UK though. I don't know if that really.
Yeah.
Maybe have him come back as a heel and like fuck over Will Ospreay during the MJF match.
Ooh.
And then Will Ospreay and Ricochet have their fucking feud.
Yeah, and they've been talking about that for a while themselves. Exactly. So that would be very cool. Yeah. All right, let's call it, man. We have so many things popping ourselves. Sean, what do you got? Talk about 8-Bit Review real quick.
Yeah, September 21st, 8-Bit Review, our video game themed burlesque show. So it's going to be really, really fun. It's something we did before the pandemic. We had this show. We did it for a couple years in a row over at Beer Bear and a DuPont in DC. And we just kind of wanted to bring it back for our DC Burlesque showcase. We haven't done it in 3 years while doing DC Burlesque and thought we'd bring it back. So this is really fun. This is, like I said, video game tribute. We were trying to get a musical act here, and I don't think we're going to get it, but I think next year we're going to try to get like an 8-bit band to come in and play some live music as well. So I think that would be really dope. But yeah, check us out. It's on Eventbrite. You can look up 8-Bit Review. You can look up DC Browlesque or the Nerdlesque Festival, or scan this QR code right next to me that's like half writ off.
Well, Sean's links will be in the comments, and you can click on him and head over to get those tickets. Sounds like a plan. All right, there we go. Webster Style, what you got before we get up out of here?
I went to Atlantic Con this past weekend in Norfolk, Virginia. So video from that is coming out this week. So far at the time of this recording, I posted my interviews with authors, Jessica Cage, who you talked to, Kuya P, as well as Indy Jones, and more video is to come.
All right. Well, there you go. Sean Mongold, Webster Style, the homies, links in the description below. I'm Kuya P. That's our picks for AEW All In 2024. Hit us up next week where we'll talk about the results and other stuff popping in the world of wrestling. We're out of here, y'all. As always, in a 1, 2, 3. Peace.
You come in my face, I'm gonna fight you. Well, you're not gonna bust a nut anytime we're in the ring. I'm gonna get off by cranking your knob just a little beyond the breaking point.
When I get my hands on you, I'm gonna eat your ass like a pot of collard greens, baby.
I'm gonna stretch his ass like it's never been stretched before.
You can hide behind that commissioner stuff just so long until I jerk a knot in your ass.
And if you don't think I'm big enough, and you grab a hold of me, and you'll know that I'm growing, my man. Within your hands, I will get as big as I need to be to do the job on you.
All right, just jerk Helmsley off.
There's one part of our bodies that's soft, and it ain't soft all the time if you catch my meaning. I'm gonna come on you like nobody's ever come on you before. Just you and I getting it on like two men should do.
Oh, no, that's it, right?
Boy, and I'm coming hard.